Let's talk about social universes. The most oppressive kind of universe for a gamer. Star Citizen's social tools are pretty bad. They're like certified trash. Long story short, the systems we are using were made for a game that hosted 25 player servers and really didn't have too much of the actual multiplayer in mind when it was made. That sucks. It's really showing its age right now, and they've like updated it over the years, but it's been not great. So they showed us recently some concepts of what they're working on, and they've explained it through words. I know most people don't care about words, but I figure for the folks who are like looking to see a comprehensive view of where this is going for people just wanting to kind of be able to communicate with other folks more, we'll be going over today, looking for group features, new voice chat stuff, reputation system, the ability to make beacons and rate other players based on their beacon performance, muting, blocking, highlighting, orgs, factions, all that kind of stuff. Again, this is a deep dive. This is going to be a little bit slow. We're going to get into some details for sure. But hopefully this is a little bit helpful in terms of informing of what's coming up and how the social experience of Star Citizen is hopefully going to pick up with the actual gameplay experience as it does continue to improve. I don't think any of these things are particularly close. We do know that the UI team was working on something surrounding this at this time last year. God only knows what that could possibly mean. They might have just been working on concepts. I don't know, but this is definitely something that we need to see soon. And when it comes to like the needed features for this game in terms of feature development that they hopefully are going to be pushing the second half of this year, I really hope this is one of them. Let's dive in.
Hello, CitizenCon. Hope you're doing all right. And Ben, you forgot to cover the Swedish before in your earlier introduction, so tjena.
Ah, nice. All right, we need some more. Let's invite Assistant Design Director, JJ, to the stage.
Making people read.
My spot's quite far away.
Yeah, no, you walk it up.
Walk up.
Here we
Your
go.
one-stop shop for all of your friends and group gameplay. Now, this is the new and improved friends list. So you'll notice, sadly, one of our oldest friends that we all have is missing, though, and that's ATC. Sadly, our friendship has ended with ATC.
What? I'll have no friends at all then.
So this is now just a dedicated space for your real friends.
This is what got everybody excited though up here is the freaking block list.
So you're now going to be able to see what those real friends are doing with richer presence information. So giving you better awareness of where your friends are, what they're doing, or if they're not on, when they were last seen. And then you'll also be able to reflect your own status. So you can let friends know if you're away, don't want to be disturbed, or if you just want to hide offline for a while.
Leave me alone.
Another key upgrade is synchronizing with Spectrum as well. So you'll be able to see friends that are in Spectrum itself, Arena Commander, or just chilling on the launcher. And that also means that you can accept and receive invites to and from Spectrum even while you're offline. And throughout this presentation, any functionality that is shared between the game and the web and the launcher, we're aiming to synchronize across.
Now, as was stated on by Razer in the chat, they are starting to test Spectrum chat in the PTU. So this bridging of services between the website and the back end of Star Citizen overall is starting to happen, however slowly. Hopefully it continues at this pace or a faster pace.
Across all. And speaking of synchronizing, when we have multiple characters, your friends will be shared across all of them too.
Nice. So some people are real socialites. I know, I've seen them. They have a lot of friends. I'm talking multiple pages and pages of friends. What are we doing to help management of a huge friends list?
Nice humble brag, Ben. Well, in fact, we are giving you the ability to add notes to your friends list so you can remember, hey, this is that cosplayer that I met at CitizenCon 2954. Or maybe it's JJ's super weird username. This is JJ. Also, you can add people to a favorites list, meaning that the people that you interact with most in the game are always going to be shown at the top of your friends list for your convenience. Additionally, we're moving the voice chat into the social app. And, well, why? Who are you going to call? That's the question. You're going to call your friends. You're going to call your partner.
Yeah, the notes section is already super helpful. I mean, these are the kind of things where people are like, oh, why doesn't CIG just have super basic stuff in the game? This is them. A friends list where you can add notes to somebody. And I do really hope, like, what they didn't talk about here was actually improving the VoIP system. They kind of touched on it briefly here. But then they mainly talked about the FOIP system, which is like the face tracking stuff, which is cool, but I think everybody really just wants to know when we're going to have reliable voice chat and proximity and the helmet and all that kind of stuff.
List, meaning that the people that you interact with most in the game are always going to be shown at the top of your friends list for your convenience.
What's up, Matt?
Additionally, we're moving the voice chat into the social app. And, well,
Dude, look at how much money he has. Probably hacking.
Why? Who are you going to call? That's the question.
It does seem that the voice chat does seem to be working more consistently. Like, it still goes out, but it's actually working at times instead of just never working ever at all.
You're going to call your friends. You're going to call your party. So this is where it should live.
Seem to have got a lot of UEC there as well, Ben.
I swear to God, I didn't dupe any cargo. This is just my personal allowance.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right, so that's all cool for your close buddies, but the one thing that always happens when you meet people is that some of them aren't nice. Abusers, pad rammers, active griefers, you know? Currently, we can't do anything about that in the game. What are we doing to help the situation?
So in addition to the friends list, we're also now going to have a block list. And we like to think of block people as reverse friends. They're just people that you really don't want to talk to anymore. So what we're trying to do is we're doing something called blackholing them from communications. So you can't see them talk, and they can't see you talk anymore. And not only for communications, whenever you see some of these other systems we're about to talk about where you can group up, we're going to make...
That's interesting that they can't see you talk. That seems like it could be strategic, right? If you wanted to transport cargo from somewhere and make sure that pirates couldn't see you, then you could just block all the pirates that you can. I guess the list of players won't be public anymore. But once you come across pirates, you could block them so they can't see or hear you communicate. I wonder how that'll work. I wonder if this also counts for like proximity chat. Could you block somebody in an outpost so you can stealth around them without them hearing you? That would still, obviously, I like the idea of being able to block people when you need to. I just wonder about the complications of it. Yeah, people will go to... I mean, I've already seen people do some really messed up stuff at Star Citizen just to, like, get on people's nerves and harass them.
Make it harder for you to see each other as well. Now, we also have a much requested hostiles list for people who have made a real enemy of you as well.
The KOS list is finally making its way in.
Oh, yeah.
So this makes me wonder if they were going to get rid of the idea of a player turning red just because you shot them, or if there's going to be another status effect called hostile, where if you put somebody on that list, even if you come across them in the game and there has not been any sort of attack between you two, they automatically show up as red on you, on your HUD, kind of thing. Must be how it works with this.
You'll also be able to add notes here as well, just so you can remember that person I blocked 2 years ago, you remember why, because you're going to forget. And then for those situations where someone really wants to go the extra mile to be a super mega ass, you can report them to us, and we'll deal with them for you.
All right, so now I have my friends list up to date. I can find my friends easily based on rich presence in real time, and I'm ready to go on an adventure. But for that, I need a party. The party is at the core of the social experience when you're heading into a mission, meeting with other players, or whether they're a friend or not. Our party system is very bare bones at the moment. It does have some cool features, but what are we planning to improve parties?
Yeah, so as you said, it does have some cool features like party launching, the party markers, quantum syncing. It's all good stuff, But let's take a closer look at the new features of the party list.
Just improving the UI is good enough.
With server meshing, we are right now at a unique opportunity for us. So we already support large parties, but we want to do this well. We have been seeing what you do in the tech previews, and people have been partying up in hundreds.
100 plus people in one ship? Come on.
And that's all right. We just want to make sure that we're adding better support for this, like search functionality, making it easy to find people in your
Search!
party. Also, just like we did with the friends list, we're adding rich presence here as well. But for the party, you're going to want more real-time gameplay-related info, like if someone's downed or dead or maybe offline for some reason. A big thing, though, is the ship and seat breakdown. So you will see. Yeah, maybe that's worth it.
So that sounds like something that comes with engineering, with the role assignments, because they're going to make it so you can have permissions for all the people in the specific seats in your ship.
You will see. Yeah, maybe that's worth the cost. So you will see all the vehicles that your party members are in, as well as the seat that they are in. This will give you great situational awareness and allows you to coordinate better than ever before. It's essentially a mini fleet manager.
Yeah, this is kind of what they do in like extraction shooters where you have to ready it before you go in on a mission. It'd be cool to be able to be in a ship like a Hammerhead and have everybody ready up so you know you can go on approach or something. It would also be cool if that is across multiple ships too. You almost don't even have to call out over voice comms to do it.
Okay. Oh.
No, this stuff is not 4.2.1. This is future. This is beyond that. We went over 4.2.1 stuff already today.
So there's going to be more improvements as well. So you're going to be able to control permission for invites. So only your leaders and assistant leaders can actually invite people. So it's no longer an absolute free-for-all. And we're adding an absolute MMO staple as well, which is
Looking for group.
So as we add
check.
more and more challenging group gameplay, you're going to be able to coordinate a lot better. And while we're talking about group play, and maybe it's unwanted group play in this case, we're improving the quality of life for our streamers as well. So we'll no longer have a shared player list. We're going to be obscuring things like your
Are they announcing streamer servers? Thought it wasn't time yet.
on-screen name and location and so on, just so you're a bit harder to find while you are streaming. And that's the full friends and party tab.
Pretty cool.
It's a party for the eyes.
Honestly, it's nice to have a new friends list. The friends list is just awful in the game right now. Like, it lags the Mobi-Glass so much, but the more interesting stuff that's getting into more kind of custom, actually advanced social tools, you're looking at a looking for group app.
The Party Finder. So, the Party Finder, it's a dynamic system that's going to make it easy for you to find interesting and engaging gameplay. It's basically player-powered matchmaking. So, if you are looking for more players, just go in here, advertise your party, give it an informative name like Ben has done here.
Space Combat Fun Times.
And you could even set things like a specific contract that you want to play, or roles that you're looking to fill. Maybe you need gunners, engineers, pilots.
Meat shields.
Maybe that.
This is not something you really see people talk about too often. A lot of people look at this as a game that is multiplayer, but they want to play solo. And I do wonder how many folks would be willing to go a little out of their comfort zone to try playing with another group of people. Like, how much friction can they remove from that experience? A lot of people don't even want to talk to other folks to play, you know? So can these people group up and get into a mission and do that mission together to get whatever rewards they need without needing to really communicate all that much? Or is it going to be kind of hands-on?
You could also limit the number of members. You might want to do some, again, specific content. So you want to do with a set number of members in the party, or you might want a tight-knit group. That's something that I would like very much. Maybe you just don't want to split the contract rewards, right? So once you have that information, then it's time to list your party.
And then people are going to be applying to join your group, which is kind of like a reverse invite. You're applying to the party, you're joining yourself, you're getting involved.
You're the reverse guy today.
I'm stuck in one gear. So you can then request, the people that are requesting, you can then look at their information and you decide on whether or not you want to accept or reject them, just so you can tailor your group to the kind of gameplay that you're trying to do. Then, on the other side, finding a party should be easy too. So all of those super cool things that Gabriel just mentioned, so like setting your group name, roles needed, party size, and so on, you're going to be able to use those as filters to find the right group. And this is all purely because we want you to find the kind of group gameplay that you want to engage in. And it's for all types of players. FPS combat, racing, beacons, roleplay, eating burgers at Whammers, finding cool vistas. It should always be easy to find action, things to do, and people to play with.
So I can create a party from a couple friends. I can party launch into the game on the same shard. Then I can share my party with the party finder. And other people will want to join up. Now we're talking. But I'm curious, as we're going to get bigger shards, let's say that.
There's so many unspoken details here, like how rewards are going to be split. How do hostilities work when you party up? How does reputation get transferred between people? It's like the app itself, it might be some development timeline for them. But I also look at this and I think about how many different systems they need running in the background to make this a possibility and how much that complicates the actual timeline.
Already. How will we improve communication? It's very much of a mess right now. Our chat's very bare bones. And voice comms, we never really know if they work.
Well, let's chat about chats.
Yeah.
So, we're adding options for you to customize the chat window, giving you the power to make the chat your own. We're also adding chat tabs.
We're bringing back tabs.
We're bringing them back from other games. And this means that you can set up customizable views, filtered for any area of the game that you are interested in. And Ben, you had a UI team make a little mock-up of some of the other functionality we're adding, right?
I sure did. I also got them to add the combat login.
That's sweet. How kind of you. So, first off, as we can see here, we're making slash commands actually useful. So no longer just chicken dancing and flexing. It's going to be able to help you send messages to party, to proximity chats with say and /dl commands, as well as sending DMs to other players.
I think they took out slash commands for now. It doesn't seem like emotes are working in the live game at the moment. A local chat option would be nice. Hell yeah. I mean, they should go all the way down to like the outpost you're at. They didn't really talk about that here. I thought it was a great opportunity to mention that, like, yeah, we're going to localize chat a little bit more, at least between systems, planets, moons, possibly outpost cities.
What the hell, Ben? You said you were going to take
Hey, you wanted a real
Oh, your
example.
emotes are working? Okay.
Sure. So, another thing we're adding is that we're giving you the power to share information more easily via links. So first off, here we have contract links, taking you to the contract manager for that specific contract.
Cheesecake!
Yes, cheesecake.
Yeah, cheesecake is maybe better than Xenofret. Also, we are adding star map links. Let's have a look at what that looks like. This means that you can click the link and it
This is like so close to data running.
will take you to the exact location in the star map, making it easy for you to group up. Another thing we're adding is item links.
Like, it's kind of, it'd be wild to think about how many locations there will be in this game. And if you can put down specific points and then hyperlink them in chat like this, it's going to be, yeah. If they can truly get data to become a commodity and also have that tie into their chat system, that's going to be pretty wild. If they do that, though, then I do wonder if that'll work between systems, because the whole idea of Star Citizen is that communication is actually locked to each star system, and you have to get buoys between the systems to communicate messaging. And can I get a historian check on that one just to make sure that's correct? Pretty sure that's how it works, though. So I do wonder if they're going to limit that at all from this chat or not.
Exact location in the star map, making it easy for you to group up. Another thing we're adding is item links, and well, you'll see why you want to link items in our Crafting Your Home presentation tomorrow. Lastly, we're adding player links to make it easy for you to connect your friends with one another, right? So while we're talking about comms, Sean just messaged us about VoIP. Do you want to invite him to the party?
I sure can, Gabe. We do need an expert to discuss VoIP and FOIP anyway. So you guys give us some air. Remember, hot mics.
Okay. I'm going to skip this
Hey,
because this is just VoIP and FOIP, and really it's just that it tracks your face a little better. Which is like, it's cool, but it's not what we're talking about today.
We've introduced the guide.
All right, the guide system is the first part of this social set of tools that I think is really going to expand gameplay rather than just help or be quality of life.
System on the web a while ago. And this allowed new players and experienced players to match up, basically for a new player to get training and learning the ropes. Wait, are we bringing it in the game?
Yeah, of course we are. So, ultimately, we want to encourage you all to help one another. And it's very important for a game as large and as complex as Star Citizen is. And while we're improving how we teach you the game, it's irreplaceable to have another player by your side showing you the ropes. So, we want to keep the guide types from the website, because there's already a lot of good ones there. And they already cover a very wide variety of gameplay. And as we add more game systems, more guide types are going to get added too. And base building's a great example of that, which is a little teaser there for tomorrow.
No, teaser. You're tease.
Oh, yeah. But now, how do you become a guide? So now there's going to be a list of requirements that you've got to meet. And this list will require you doing content like contracts, beacons, or many other things as well. And ultimately, once you've checked that list, you can then opt in to become a guide. And really, we've done this because we wanted becoming a guide to really mean something, both to yourself, to other players, so they can rely on your experience. But why become a guide? Out of the goodness of your own hearts?
No.
Cookies!
You want to get paid. Some of you love to help.
Money.
And a lot of you already are. But while I don't have time to get into specifics today, there are going to be rewards available for those of you that do put the effort in.
Because we like to get paid.
You do like to get paid. But ultimately, we want you to want to help.
All right. So I've been doing a lot of guide stuff, and I've reached a guide level in a field that I like doing tons of content on. Or I'm a new player, and I need training in a key area. How does this all tie together? Let me answer my own question. It ties into beacons.
Beacons. Is AAK still in the chat? This is huge. Beacons are freaking huge. It's actually, I want to go back to something that doesn't really have to do with the tools in UI. I guess this kind of does, actually. This is a video from back in August of last year. Beacons, potentially, could be like player-made missions. Like you make a contract, you tell a player, I need this much material picked up from here, and I need it shipped here. And that is, the idea there is like, you could basically be an explorer who found an amazing deposit of resources. And like, you don't really want to sell the data, you want to benefit from those resources, but you don't have a cargo hauling ship. So you put out a cargo hauling beacon for somebody to come and pick it up and take it to a place and sell it for you. That's basically a player-made contract for somebody else. So I'm going to play here where they talked about this in the past.
Player contracts and job boards. Will players ever be able to set up contracts to have cargo or items hauled by other players?
So we do have player beacons. And I know what that current state of that is, but that
What
is
it, Nick?
a
What is
system.
the current state? Go ahead, admit it.
Works perfectly.
It's a feature, but that's something
it?
which we. It's like the economy. It's
Non-existent? Oh, sorry.
System.
All right. So he explains further with the beacons here.
That's just
Just love to hear that
have
part.
fun to make
So-
fun.
so. Just take it as us being continue with whatever we
So
were
to-
talking about. I've forgotten now. Player
So
contracts.
to
player
answer
beacons.
answer the question, to answer the question, Elliot, the beacon system is something which provides for players to contract other players, and it's a system we will be looking to expand upon in the future. And personally, I think that this side of the economy is fundamental, given that we are having a hybrid economy. So player-driven
Yeah.
systems
Yeah,
to
that's
stay.
Space Tomato. Clip it. Fundamentally said.
Yes,
And we do.
Yeah, it
We do clip it. We go back to it all the time. It's funny he says that because we go back to that clip all the time. It's very relevant, not just for player contracts, but also the comments he's making about the economy there. Like, a lot of people don't know that this sort of sandbox gameplay of working together with other players and specifically using these beacons is a pretty important part of the game. So now with that kind of prelude, here's the explanation of where they do want to go with it from the people designing the UI side of things.
Trust and rating systems, or as we say internally, beacons, but actually good. Yeah. So beacons have been in the game for a while, but we are juicing them up.
Yeah, so let's look at how we're juicing them up. So first off, tying into the guide stuff, we're adding a new type of beacon. So guide beacons. It means that if you are a guide, you'll be able to respond to them. If you need a guide, you broadcast them. And if you need a guide, you can be certain that whoever responds to them knows their stuff. So this is obviously good for new players needing to learn the game. But even seasoned players like yourselves, you're going to have a great use for this because there's always something new to learn in the verse. So you just post your question, you broadcast it out, the guides get alerted, they can accept it, contact you, and once you have the information you need, you take the beacon down, get out there, and use your newfound knowledge. So obviously there's many different types of guide beacons here, but we're also adding more categories to service beacons.
Now, all this beacon stuff sounds fine, but let's be honest. I have a friend, not me, but every time they use a beacon, they get ganked. How are we going to do? What are we going to do to make sure that whoever is answering my call for help is trustworthy?
Are you sure that's your friend and not you? Yeah, okay. So we've got a few ways of tackling this, and one of them is actually subsidizing the beacons. So guilds contribute rewards to the payouts on service beacons, and we'll get to guilds shortly. But that could be money, reputation, or potentially other rewards as well.
Because we like getting paid.
And ultimately, that keeps the cost down for the people that need help, but rewards the people that are helping. And this actually finally makes it viable to do beacons for whatever profession you like to do. Medics, refuelers, and repairers, just to name a few. But if you misbehave and you fail the beacon, there's no payout for you. So that's one incentive.
And now what stops a person from just saying you misbehaved and failed at the last second? I guess that would reflect on them. I don't know. Dangerous rating systems and stuff. This is not coming with 421, no. This is future stuff.
The other is that we're adding a proficiency rating. Responders can earn that rating by successfully completing service beacons. You go from bronze up to gold, which indicates your level of experience and success, and only the top few will be able to earn platinum status.
I was going to say, I want to go to platinum. What is this
Which
gold?
essentially puts you on a leaderboard and marks you as one of the best playing in your region. So when broadcasting, responders offer to help, and you'll see their rating. Then you'll get to pick who you want to help you out. Then let's say you're not very good, or you like to misbehave a lot. Failing a beacon will result in losing rating, and then repeat offenders will enter the red zone.
The bald zone.
And then only really desperate people are going to take you on. We're making the system much more robust to the point of automatically determining success or failure. So we're putting a lot of focus on making the system difficult to exploit as well, in the many different ways that it can be right now. So criminal types, like you, Benoit, will have to get much more creative.
So yeah, that's all great from the beacon broadcaster's perspective, right?
It's going to be interesting to see how this is this will be a really big addition. And I'm wondering how it'll work right when it releases versus how it'll work later on when the game is like full on healthy and actually running stuff. Yeah, the beacon could be a trap too. The rating system's going to have to be, I don't know. It's going to have to be hard to like really change someone's rating just from one thing. But also you kind of need to. I don't know. There's a real balancing act there. All these things need to work in coercion with each other. There's not a point seeing this implemented if you don't have a working economy underneath the whole game. Like now we do hauling, but it has no effect on the game. You just do it for money. It does not affect the world around you. Well, that's what the I can shoot you this video, the one we were just looking at. This is the economy guy. So they do talk a little bit about how they're working on the economy. I don't think they're not building that stuff also. This is the economy guy. He's also talking about creating the beacons. And these guys are the UI guys talking about creating the beacons. Actually, this guy's a gameplay focused guy. So it feels like there's some cross-pollination between these different groups on these systems. What keeps an org from spam rating each other? Don't know. Maybe it has to be from unique people. Continuing on with the beacons.
Pretty cool stuff. But they're not the only ones getting ganked. The beacon responders, they're also in a bad position. So what are we doing for the beacon responders? Well, we want to give you some idea of the risk you're putting yourself into by responding to the beacon. So we're adding trust rating. So if we look at this person who's looking for some help to repair here, well, you can see their last 5 recent beacons that they've broadcasted. They have 2 neutral ones. Something's gone wrong, but it wasn't necessarily bad or illegal. Then they have a red one. That's bad. They have been up to something. But they have also been successful with 2 beacons. So, well, at least you can assess the situation before going into it. It ensures your safety when doing a good deed.
All right, I guess if there's like 4 reds and a green, then you're probably not going to go there. If there's 3 greens, a red, and then another green, you probably assume there's not a person who's like trying to kill people. All right, maybe they do. Maybe they only target certain people. I don't know. That's a better way of doing it, for sure, showing a history rather than just showing the last thing or just a single rating. More information, better. Working demo from Tony. Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's it for beacons. So, well,
We've got
AJ?
one more big thing I guess we need to talk about, right? Which we're really excited for.
Oh, yeah.
Actions.
Look at that. That is exciting. I like this one.
Did someone mess with the slides?
In Sweden, we call this a double barrel.
Well, it's not time for lunch just yet. So, who would like to talk about player organization?
I did not realize how much people don't like player orgs until more recently than this, but I do think this is also a really good change for the game. I like player orgs. I think orgs are a cool idea and make a lot of sense, and the tools to work with them in the game right now are abysmal. They aren't even existent. So I think this was all good.
That's all right.
It sounds like we've got a few people in orgs in the house today. But Benoit, you talked about this a while ago, right?
It's been 84 years.
They actually, Benoit was on the stage talking about the first org system back in like 2016 or something like that. Kind of ridiculous. People hate orgs. People think orgs are all very similar. So if they have a bad experience with one org, they think all the orgs are like that, and it kind of colors their view of what orgs actually do in game. A lot of folks resent orgs for taking over locations and doing things that impact their gameplay.
Player, I understand the citizen. So orgs, as many of you know, the players coming together to achieve a goal, whatever you want your goals to be. We give you the framework and you set it up and drive it forward. And we were going to shout a few of them out, but I was actually told we couldn't play favorites, so we actually made our own. So we've got the Fellowship of JJ and
the Baltzfall Buccaneers.
Those
What?
guys.
You guys made your own orgs?
Yeah, we kind of left you out. Sorry about that, James.
We also have NPC factions, and they're already in the game. And you can earn or lose reputation with them. Now, contracts and doing nice things will earn you rep. And killing and stealing and all of that horrible stuff you love, Ben, that will lose you rep. Ling and Redwind and the ones that you can see on there are just a few examples, and there's going to be a lot more to come going forward. Now, there are also guilds, like the Interstellar Transport Guild. And these are essentially collections of several factions, and we're putting them in a position to be more prevalent.
What? You're saying there's something bigger than factions?
Oh yeah. So they're going to be something you interact with a lot, and they essentially handle contracts for the factions. But you will earn rep with both still, but as the bigger entity, the guild will be much more important. And you'll find out a lot more about guilds tomorrow at the Stars My Destination presentation at the end of tomorrow.
Again, a
yeah.
tease.
Forgot they talked about it there. All right, let's jump ahead to the details.
Banned on moving forward. So, let's have a look at it.
Now, I'd like to point out that the Fellowship of JJ, like every designer-based org, is really focused on things like progression gameplay and mission and crafting and leveling up. But my Baltzfall Buccaneers, no, they're the real deal. Now, we don't do any of that stuff. Now, we're in it for profit, interdiction lines, shipboarding action. We get all that sweet cargo for free.
I gotta say, one of the biggest things that they could be doing for this game is bringing more of the stuff on the website into the game. And this panel was one of the best just showings of that actually becoming a thing. The guide system, the chat system, and the org tools all coming into the game. And you'll see soon like a calendar and actually being able to see what's going on. It's crazy to me that in order to figure out there is like a global event going on in this game, and this will be a problem this month when they bring out this global event with 421. Just watch. When it happens, it'll be limited time, and you can find out about it on the launcher, but otherwise you have to go all the way to the website to see it. And like a lot of people miss out on those. It's going to be great to be able to find out that information in the actual game itself now, as well as like all this group stuff.
For free? That sounds pretty illegal, Ben.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's in those crates?
Slam!
Interested in joining some big orgs. Well, I prefer something smaller. So I think it's fair to say that we like playing in different ways and will want to join different orgs. The recruitment tab is the place to find them. So we're giving you the tools to promote your org to potential members in order to give a best first impression to them.
I've just noticed that, Ben. You might want to have a word with Rich. It looks like
What?
he doesn't want you.
No way. I'll have to speak with him.
Anyway, yes. So we're adding filters for when you're basically trying to find a home. And we want to cater to all types of players because we're a massive game, right? And orgs are combining tons of different gameplay in tons of different ways. So you can search by name if there's an infamous org you've encountered out there in the verse or online. You can search by size. So if you're after a big and active org like me, or a small and more close-knit org like Gabriel. Then you can also search by the gameplay focuses you enjoy. So maybe you love trading in PvP, or maybe you like events like the Daymar Rally. Safe? Yeah. So I guess you'd end up searching for, say, social and racing, maybe?
What if I love committing crime and roleplay, asking for a friend?
What's that got to do with the presentation? Anyway, you can search for whatever you like, and if it's not there, why not just create it yourself?
So, we allowed you to join multiple orgs back in 2014, I can still do that, right?
Oh yeah. So we're keeping it supported, and we're actually doing the status and thing, and we're going one bigger.
One bigger.
So we're giving you an additional one to join when we actually bring it into the game too. And we wanted to keep it because we've all played games where it's far too limited. Like 1 org per character just isn't enough for a game this size.
Yeah, and here you get an idea of what the full screen will look like. It's going to be your one-stop shop for joining or finding players for your org. So let's have a look at the core functions and features to look forward to in the rest of the app.
Yeah, because we're in GII. We don't need to recruit any. I'm kidding. We're not an exclusive org. You can be anywhere you want.
This
Well,
is the
not
Summary
anywhere.
tab. On here, you can select one of your orgs that you're in on the left-hand side, and you'll see, well, a summary, a lot of at-a-glance information. So we'll introduce some of these one at a time. So first off, announcements and org information. Simple stuff. You use them how you want to.
God, this is like, for anybody who runs an org, this stuff is so nice to hear. Or not even runs an org, just like any level of logistics in a group of friends. Being able to make announcements that actually go to people's mobiGlass or something. Oh, man.
Also,
Ooh, boy.
we're adding an events log. So in here, you'll get a summary of important events within the org. And
That's also really good, dude. It's going to be crazy to see this when you have like bases going on that are manufacturing goods and shipping stuff. I feel like this would get incredibly overloaded very quickly. Maybe their filters and
changes to org statuses or settings. In short, these things, well, it's a big verse, and it's easy to miss cool things that happen in your org. And these features will help you stay on top of the day-to-day life of being an org member.
Okay, we're also adding an events calendar. So by default,
It's so basic, but it's so good. No more going to the website to find out when the next free fly is.
so by default, it's going to be populated with our in-game events, so you never miss a thing. But more importantly, you'll obviously be able to add your own as well. So you'll never miss another meetup to get together for group content. It's tough to get everyone on at the same time, right? So use this for your Convoy Tuesdays, Casual Fridays, holding hands in Horizon Saturdays, whatever you want.
Getting crushed by the Buccaneers on Monday.
That's Gabriel's favorite.
It is my favorite.
Remember that it is our intent that all the features we're looking at here are available on Spectrum as well, allowing you to access this info even if you're not in the game. This applies to parties, comms, friends, and all other functions. So I can join multiple orgs, like the Buccaneers, the Corvette Club, or the Slam Truckers. But how will others see me in the verse if I have multiple choices? Surely.
Before we get to this next part, somebody asked in chat, are they trying to replace Discord? No. But they do want to have their own system for voice and text chat. Because the more people are using the in-game system, the more they can route those into in-game features. So proximity chat means that it's more important for them to have things in the game that listen for audio cues, right? Like AI and alarms and stuff like that. A calendar here means that you can now place a hyperlink in the event description that somebody can click, and it would take them to that location on the star map to start their navigation. For as beautiful as we can make those event invites and host all that stuff on Discord, it'll never actually feed into the game itself. I do think they just released a dev kit actually to start allowing for that kind of stuff in games, but I believe that they're trying to build their own system for their engine that can work for other games as well. But the ability to have all of this stuff work on the same system, ultimately I think the benefit is it's all interconnected and it can interact with itself as that underlying feature.
I need to pick a banner.
So that's covered by something new called representing. And it's actually quite similar to the existing affiliation main status system on the website. So if you're into multiple orgs, you choose which one you want to represent, but you can only represent one at a time. Now, there are ongoing benefits for being in orgs, which we'll get to in a minute, but choosing who you represent asks which one you want to benefit from at any given time. But why? Well, we wanted to support players who like to play with different groups of friends, but we didn't want players who are just in one to be at a major disadvantage to those that are in the full 6. Because really, joining multiple orgs should be your choice and not feel like it's a necessity.
And there's no need for you to switch which org you're representing to see things like this Moby screen or org chat. But we want to put limitations on how often you can switch to avoid exploiting the systems. And we don't want to punish anyone who's, playing by the rules. And a big part of representing is visualizing it in-world. We want you to be able to fly your banner for your org. So we're adding another MMO staple to the game. Tags. So the org leader will be able to set a tag for the org, and this gets appended to the name while you're representing. So you can easily see who is in which org at a glance. So we'll have it in chats, in world, and if you're not interested in this stuff, you have the option to turn it off as well.
How novel! We'll be able to identify people around us.
Love a choice.
JJ, I'm curious. You mentioned guilds before, and I'm guessing they fit into this somehow.
Yes, so you may have spotted a few references on the UI to alignment earlier, but what is it? So, it's your opportunity to form a relationship between org and in-game guild. Now, just as you in personal...
This is going to take some further explaining for sure, because this is an interesting angle.
...rep with the guilds, you can with your org now as well. So your org leaders pick which one you want to align with, and while representing, org members doing specific action, like contracts with them, will increase the org's alignment with the guild. But which guild should you pick? So all of our guilds are going to have a specific theme and associated gameplay. And you can basically pick the one that matches your theme or benefits your org the most. So a combat-focused org, like the Fellowship, might want to align with themselves with the Mercenary Guild. Or one that enjoys making cash through trading and hauling, they'd probably want to align with the Interstellar Transport Guild.
You know us out of GII, pharmaceuticals, if you will.
Yeah, so how do these benefits work? Well, as your alignment with a guild, as it raises, you both unlock new benefits from that guild, as well as improve your previously unlocked benefits. So, for example, if I align my org with the Academy of Science Guild, we might get research speed improvements. As my org performs contracts for this guild, alignment raises, and that speed benefit gets better. And needless to say, other guilds will have other types of benefits. Finally, on guild alignment, you are not locked in forever. You can switch at any time. However, that will put your alignment back at 0, so it's a big choice.
So every member gets full benefits.
Well, not necessarily. We're also introducing loyalty. So it's similar to the org's alignment with a guild, but this represents your relationship to the org you're in. Anything you do that benefits the org while you are representing it will gain you loyalty with them. So for example, you could be doing missions for the org-aligned guild, or you could be depositing money and materials into org storage.
Org storage? Another tease.
Ooh.
Definitely going to have to hear more about that. The idea that there's loyalty to org. That's really cool. I hope we can pick. I don't know. They probably won't let us pick the benefits that people get from that. But that is very cool. Glad you liked the garden tag on Discord. That was Mrs. Tomato.
Ultimately,
None of
we
this will
wanted
be in
to encourage
421.
long-term
4
membership.
None of this will be in 4.2.1.
Because we don't think you should just be able to join a well-established org and then just get everything instantly for no effort. So to put it simply, having low loyalty limits what you gain from the org's alignment benefits, and having high loyalty gives you full access. We also wanted org leadership to be able to view members' current loyalty and use it as a tool to reward appropriately with things like ranks and permissions. And then loyalty resets to 0 when you leave an org, so there's some incentive for sticking around.
Wait, does that mean I lose my loyalty if I change my representation away?
No, so not representing puts your contributions or ongoing benefits on hold. So when you start representing again, you essentially just pick up where you left off.
This is going to be like a whole separate system to the game, I feel. Next to the sandbox gameplay, next to the missions and contracts, the main story, all of that. This feels like an entirely other part of the game to progress through and work in. Like, I guess that's kind of how MMOs are. Or gameplay is a whole other aspect of the game to sort of really dive into. I hope that they can maintain that and make this its own unique portion, because this is deep stuff, man.
But what if I leave the org?
It's not very loyal, so it resets.
Right. Well, so, you know, in my org, my Buccaneers, they're mostly scoundrels, and so they tend to join and leave, and, you know, it's not very loyal in general. Larger orgs, they tend to be a pain to manage, though. With the flow of joiners and leavers, do we have any tools to help managers like me?
Well, let's have a look at the Members tab. So this is less complex than the previous tabs, but it's equally important. This is where you see the community of your org and your place in it. So in here, you'll be able to manage members, you can leave notes, and see the ranks of members. And as we did with the friends list and the party list, we're adding rich presence in here as well. This is the rank panel. It gives you a clear indication where you sit within the community. And you'll see permissions on here, but that's something that we'll delve more into at a later date. For now, I'll just say that the leader might be able to determine permissions for each rank, and well, it could be things like inviting new members or accessing org storage.
Stop teasing us with org storage, God!
Come on.
So, all right, so orgs form and friendship and animosities build up. Maybe my Buccaneers and the Fellowship of JJ don't really see eye to eye most of the time. Would be great for this to translate in game, wouldn't it?
It would, wouldn't it?
We'd love more stuff in the game.
So yeah, it's a good job we got it covered, which is with our new alliances and rivalry system. So you're going to have the ability to create alliances and go to war. And there are many reasons to make friends. You might want to have trading partners, or you might want to group up for protection if you're playing somewhere like Pyro. And at the same time, there are probably going to be many reasons why you won't get along. Maybe an org keeps attacking or stealing from you. Alliances forming are an agreement between two org leaders, and it has to be mutual.
To be honest, I do wonder if an org has enough members who are just causing trouble in one place, does that eventually make the org itself have a reputation that automatically updates for people as being hostile? That would be a super efficient tool. Like if a high enough percentage of an org has a certain type of rep, then that org overall tends to have that rep. Because then if you have a group of people who are just constantly trolling folks, then it kind of the name starts to precede itself.
You can't force someone to be friends.
Unlike real life.
Requests are sent from the screen if you have permission, and you could respond here as well. And as a bonus, allied orgs are going to have additional lines of communication, like Alliance Chat, or being able to share Alliance events on the calendar,
Chat.
just to name a few.
So, rivalry, that isn't a mutual agreement. If someone decides you're their rival, well, tough luck. However, you could reach a mutual agreement to make a truce, putting you back at neutral. And there's no real benefit to having rivals, so we want to make them easy to identify. That's why alliances and rivalries tie directly into hostility indicators. So just
There you
like
go.
now, you'll be able to see neutral contacts in white and party members show up in blue, whereas your org wingman will come in a dark green and your allied orgs in a paler green. Your rivals will show up in red.
Or people
and
in your kill list.
the kill list, people on your kill list that we mentioned before, will also show up in red.
Okay, so that's what I was asking at the beginning of the video. What did he say that neutral would be? Blue?
Indicators. You'll be able to see neutral contacts in white and party members show up in blue.
Okay, so neutral contacts will be white, but if you add someone to your hostile list, they will be red automatically. Makes sense.
In a paler green. Your rivals will show up in red.
Or people
and
in your kill list.
the kill list, people on your kill list that we mentioned before, will also show up in red or orange. If you're not, well, they're not legal to attack. That's the go straight to jail card if you kill them here. So we'll be adding accessibility options for this stuff as well to make sure that everybody can benefit from these updates.
So that's everything for orgs today, but it's just the tip of the social iceberg. And we didn't have time.
I hope not, dude. Like, that's enough. Just get us that. Make that the whole iceberg. Cut the fucking tip off. Sorry, excuse my language, but like, just give me the tip. Send it down a river. Put it on a barge. It's cool. We don't need all the
Share
ice.
everything, but there's lots more to show in the future. And we're
I'm okay.
super excited because we finally get to deliver it.
I'm parched. Please. Give social tools.
Yeah. Now, what have we learned? We're upgrading Star Citizen social tools to MMO size. With a new social app in the MobiGlass, proper tools to manage parties with rich presence, ready check, and ship information. Richer chat with the niceties normally present in every game. A new party finder, a system that allows you to find players to play with. Revamped beacons and guide system powered by rating and proficiency. On orgs, we're bringing orgs in the game. We're obviously with a new orgs app, but also alignment. So you align your org with a guild and get benefits for your members, representations, which identifies you in the verse and gives you benefits, and loyalty to your orgs, and alliances and rivalry to identify friend from foe. And now, we're going to leave you with a short video to end on because we couldn't show everything we're working on. But what would it look like in the unlikely event where our two powerhouse orgs came together as one?
And my org, right?
Yeah, it's a little teaser for tomorrow's crafting your home presentation and what you can build together as an org, and teasing something else coming in the future. Have a great CitizenCon, guys. See you there.
See ya.
Branding? Yeah. Dude, this is so, the fact that they put this out but didn't really explain just how in-depth this was. I think even the next day they talked about the customization of this stuff. And it was sort of like, okay, so how much of this is player customizable? Like, are we picking those colors? Are we picking it all where the colors are? Are we just slapping logos on designs that you guys have already given us? Like, what is this saying? Because, like, we're going to have asparagus shirts. We're going to have our carrots. Tomato shirts, of course, you need them. Onions, potato shirts. You're going to have, like, potato gas tanks. Like, I want this gas tank to look like a potato. Come on, let's go. This is the garden. So, that is, that's mostly the look at the social tools and the plans for them. These are not anywhere near being in game as far as we know. I don't even see them talk about these on the monthly reports. So I don't have any hope for this stuff coming into the game this year. This was just a deep dive into the plans that we know of. All of this was talked about at the end of last year, and as is being said, some of the spectrum testing is happening in the PTU, but we don't really know anything about what's going on with these. So there's your deep dive.